Yo, kinfolk and skin folk. For the newbies, y'all not in the wrong place. Y'all are in the right place. And the lifers, they'll tell you this is the Life Be Lifing podcast. Yeah. We are hosted by the funny, the dynamic, the witty, the sharp, the resourceful, and the beautiful one and only Mimi,
Hello. Hi,
the
guys.
goddess. Yeah. She is flanked by none other than your favorite fat freckled man, your favorite coach's favorite coach, the big dog himself, Splash Charles. Go to coach underscore Nari if you want to see why I said Splash Charles. I got some joints up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put some clips up of me last weekend. The highlights, the few highlights I do have. You feel me? But anyway, yeah, hooptastic. I like that. I like that a lot. Um, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to let our dazzling co-host lead us off because she had the vision for this episode, so
Okay,
it's only
so
right.
when I hit you
Needs take it
earlier
away.
today, I don't really get on Facebook. I have started to transition my Facebook page to less of a personal page, more of a life be life in pod page, right? Because let's face it, I just think Facebook is just not for me. Too many words, not enough pictures. Too many people talking shit. So I do enjoy, however, checking my Facebook memories because it lets me know just how far I've come as a person. Well, the girl was very ratchet back in the day. But there is this one particular time in which I felt the need to go on a Facebook rant, which is very unusual for a person like me. However, the situation had come about that I found out that my brother had another baby that he had been hiding. And I was very upset by it because I take my auntie duties very seriously. Well, when it all came down to it, the story was he was hiding the kid because of the first baby mother. Same female who had moved on.
He wasn't
No,
hiding the
no,
kid from y'all,
he was. He
okay?
was.
He was
He,
hiding
he was
the
hiding the kid
world.
from the world, but the world was hiding from the
He wasn't
kid.
hiding
No,
the kid from
my brother
the
was down. He
world.
was dog ass wrong across the board. Like, regardless of what the reason or rationale was, it was wrong, right? And like the story goes, boom, boom, he was hiding the baby because he knew that she was gonna flip out. And I'm like, y'all broke up. She done moved on, got another kid on the way. You obviously done had another kid. Like at this point, if anybody know me, they know all my littles. I'll be saying I think they competing against one another because every time I turn around, one of them having a baby. So apparently, there was an incident that ensued in my parents' house where she showed up to come get my nephew, my oldest nephew. I call him Booger. I'll have to explain that another day. But she came to take him after she found out about the baby. My parents been taking care of Kanye since literally day one. Like that's their kid, right? We had this conversation about me feeling like that's my parents' second chance at raising my brother. So it's like Kanye like 3, 4 years old. Why are you coming to get him now? Call the cops and everything. So I went on a Facebook rant, and it was in reference to co-parenting. So I wanted to talk about the topic of co-parenting today, but I'm going to lead with my rant if you guys will entertain me. First part, ladies, listen, don't be a bitter baby mama because dude done moved on from you. I've seen it so many times, but I'm sick of it. You can party, date, have babies, and all that, but God forbid he's happy. He just want to take care of his kid, but you make it harder than it needs to be. Kids could care less about you two having a life as long as they are being treated well. Sure, there are kids that want their parents to be together. That's human nature. But it's your job to help them work through that, not make it worse. And funny enough, you were one of the people to like it. Now, My comment wasn't received, well, my status wasn't received so well by someone else because they thought it was directed at them, and I'll get into that later. Follow up. Why can't y'all just agree to disagree? Co parent like normal folks and do what's in the best interest of the child because at the end of the day, they're the only ones who really matter. If you have a whole other life outside of them, then why isn't it afforded the same luxury? Outside of them, then why isn't he, I'm sorry, afforded the same luxury and courtesy? Y'all didn't work out. Okay, we get it. But you created a kid together, and now it's your job to raise the kid together, regardless of what the other one is or is not doing in life outside of you. You like that one as well. Matter of fact, you liked all three of them. The last one, you put the mad face. So, next one. I guess my issue is the fact that this very behavior is sometimes what causes absentee fathers. And who really wins if the father throws in the towel? No man wants to fight in front of his child, drag his child to court, or explain why he can't see them, buy them things, or have them around their significant other. So quit putting your feelings first and make your child the priority. And I guarantee things will be so much easier. Last part. And let's be clear, I have an axe to grind with the deadbeat dads too. You can't come and go as you please, contribute when you want, make promises, then disappoint your child countless times, then scream on the mother for protecting their child's feelings because they too have feelings. This was back in 2018. And I've had so many kids, enter my life since then. And I mean, to be honest, my brother hasn't married neither one of his baby mothers. My other brother is not married to the mother of his child. And yeah, then there's my goddaughter in that whole situation, whom, by the way, her mother, cousin, caught wind of these statuses and instantly thought that I was talking about their situation. And, at that point, my rude ass, I was like, well, if the shoe fit, lace that bitch up and wear it. But at the same time, I had to kindly tell her, get out my comments because I'm not talking about her because I don't care that much about that situation anymore. I do what's best for my godchild and I try to stay out of that. But that ended up being a whole situation. But however, I was talking about my brother and his baby mother. And I just think about how things have transpired since then and the issues he's now having with his current baby mother, the mother of the kid that was hidden, he now has three total with. And I was in New Orleans this weekend, and she sends me a screenshot of a message between the two of them where she's like, hey, I'm not sending the kids over there with clothes no more because I buy this and I buy that, and you don't buy this or you don't buy that, and shit is expensive and you don't help. And he like, what you talking about? Like, they my kids, they come over here. Where who else gonna buy clothes and what they gonna wear? And I'm just like, and so she asked me, was I wrong? And I absolutely told her she wasn't wrong because at the end of the day, like co-parenting to me is where everyone plays an equal part, or you discuss what parts you were able to play, and y'all are in agreement or alignment about that. And you know, I feel as though she's one of those moms who goes above and beyond for her kids, right? And I feel like my brother uses that against her because she doesn't want her kids to be out in public looking raggedy. So, they got the fresh clothes from Zara and Jordans and all of that stuff. And, my brother is like, buy them clothes, huh? What? Like, that's your job. So when she put her foot down and was like, I'm not sending them over there with anything, narcissistic Nardo turned it up and was like, made her seem like the bad guy. And my sister and I were in New Orleans and we were just kind of like sitting at breakfast talking about this. And I'm like, why is co parenting so hard? Why do people make this way more difficult than it needs to be? And why are you not doing what's in the best interest of the kid? And I had to tell her, I said, hey, look, we talked about this and I told you what to do. You either send them over there with the bummy clothes that you don't care about because you know they're not coming back, or you send them over there in pajamas. And then when it's time for them to come home, they come home in the pajamas. You sitting there arguing with somebody who's gonna make sense of shit that don't make sense because you're not smart enough to out talk him. So stop. But why is it that that's the situation for so many people that have to co-parent? And then we're not gonna get into the folks that are married and literally they only together because of the kids, and they literally are co-parenting in a marriage. Ooh, that face. Like, where do we figure out how the kids fit into the behavior bully? Because who win when the family feud? Nobody. Nobody, right? So for me,
Nobody.
not having kids, I know people, and one of the comments that I got was, you don't got kids, so you don't understand. Oh, I understand tremendously. That's why I don't got kids. That's why I've never been nobody baby mama, and I'm never gonna be nobody baby mother because I
That's a good
understand
response.
beyond measure. I understand every single negative about co-parenting with somebody or not being able to co-parent with somebody. So miss me with that bullshit.
Mm,
So for me, I got my brother,
mm.
well, both my brothers, but Leon, he co-parents really well. He's a great dad to Legend, right? Who else? There's my goddaughter in that situation, which I had to remove myself from within the last year because I've been the monkey in the middle for that, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna step out of this because what I'm doing to help ain't helping, right? And I can't really think.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna call out the people I feel like is co-parenting in their marriage, but it's just kind of like from what you've seen of the friends that you have or people that have to co-parent, how does that situation look to you? Like, how do you see from the male's perspective the conversation you have with your male counterparts and friends and such like that have to discuss co-parenting? I mean, I know we had, you know, Wes on the show. That was a completely different like
West.
ball game
Hmm.
right there. Like that's some different shit. Like his baby mother, the mother of his kid, I actually hate saying that, the mother of his child, there's something more to that. I'm talking about people that are of sound mind, sound body, that can't co parent coherently and amicably and don't understand how that affects the child.
And that makes me question of how much sound mind they actually are. Um, because at some point, I do have to question, maybe not your intellect, but I have to question your emotional intelligence, certainly. And I have to question at what point
Ooh,
ego overwhelms, you know, vision, right? Like, because a lot of those situations where you have that contentiousness,
yeah,
um, it's about ego. You know what I'm saying? Either you're going on and you're being happier without me and I don't like it. Or, I've seen situations where the dad is such a great dad
mm,
that the
agreed.
mother has no leverage. And every now and then she needs leverage because this kid is really like they might not be able to live with their dad full
Yeah,
time, but they cling to their dad.
right,
Their
right.
dad is doing everything that he's supposed to do. And some of these moms resent that, which is so fucking
I agree.
bonkers to me. Out of all the single moms that have to struggle and wish they could get some help, you literally have some co parenting moms who are livid because the dad does
Yeah,
so much, they feel like they got to
yeah,
compete with them,
I agree.
which is kind of sick to me. That's sick. Um, You don't have to compete. Sometimes kids pick a favorite parent. Accept it.
Yeah,
You would love for the kids to love you both equally, but let's just be honest.
yeah,
Sometimes a kid has a favorite parent, and it's on you as the less favorite parent to get over it
yeah,
and just be a great parent. That way, the kid, like you said, nobody wins when the family feuds. That way, the
yeah,
kid just wins on both sides. Yeah, they might cling to mommy, or this one might cling to daddy, or sometimes if you got multiple, it's either one, or if you got multiple different, you
overseers.
know, baby moms or baby dads or
Yeah,
whatever, it might not be across the scale. These two might cling to you and the other one cling to that dad. Like
Yeah.
that's what happens when you can't keep the family together. As much as people will, like to do that. Sometimes it just don't work that way. But y'all still family. Like I have a friend who has gotten to a very solid uh co-parenting situation with the father of her kids. And her perspective is profound to me because she's like, I help him do things, and people feel like I help him do too much, but he also helps me. And my thing is, I want him to be good.
Yeah.
We're not going out on dates. We're not calling each other at inappropriate times. We're not reminiscing on what used to be. It's I have skills,
Right.
certain skills that he don't have. So if he's in the jam, why would I let him sit in the jam when I have those skills to make sure that my kid's father has a simple life so that he can assist me
It's the give
when
and
my
take,
life ain't
man.
so simple?
Yeah.
Teamwork. That's really what it comes down to. I know coach is always going to make some kind of sports reference, but
Hey, look,
honestly,
what's the saying?
teamwork.
Team
That's how
together.
it goes. Partnership. That's how teamwork
Yeah.
makes the dream work. Like, come on. That's really all it comes down to. I'm going to help you here. It's like people be so afraid to get one upped
I don't.
that they'll sabotage the situation so they don't feel taken advantage of. My thing is this, right? Because like you said, you do have those married couples that are co-parenting,
Yeah.
just because there's kids there. And we're not going to get too much into that. But nonetheless, it's about the mindset, right? Even that
Right.
mindset of kids over us. We couldn't make us work. That's the end of that. We know we're living together as roommates. The kids might not know
Right.
yet, but we know we're living together as roommates. Same thing as people who's not living together and decide to go their separate ways. It's
They,
okay. Our
exactly. They're the
kids
priority.
now, that's the priority because this relationship can't work. Cool.
Right.
Now it's about the kids because the hierarchy is God,
And then the kids. Yep.
whoever you with, then kids. But this didn't happen. So
See,
now
that's a
it's
good point
God,
because I know that's another
kids.
argument people have about that. It's like the kids before the spouse. No, it's the spouse before the kids. And then it's just like it just kind of depends on your situation. And that was a good put right there for that because when you're not together, yeah,
Like it's just that simple. If you're not in a
right,
relationship together, the kids come first. If you're in a relationship together, you guys come first because your love and
right,
your relationship filters
okay,
everything down to the kids. Now,
right,
once that no longer exists, there's no filter system. So you're going to give to the kids directly,
yeah,
individually,
exactly, exactly,
but together. You know what I'm saying? Like as a team, I need you to rebound. I need you to catch, the outfield. I need you to kick the field goal. We don't necessarily have to do the same thing. Like that's the other thing that people seem to get hung up on, right? Like, well, I do this and I do this, and you don't do that. Okay,
yeah,
cool. You the one with the better bank account. You the one with the better fashion sense. I'm leaving you to buy the kids the clothes. I'm going to
yeah,
handle making sure that other needs are met. So even if he was on some stuff like, well, buying the kids clothes is your job, well, then I'm the one who
right,
handles this thing that you won't have to handle. So you don't feel like you're doing everything, and I don't feel like I'm doing everything. This is the specialization. People are so afraid
yeah,
of specialization and co-parenting. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to feel
yeah.
like they the better parent.
I agree.
And that's the part that's not spoken on enough. Is that ego and that pride of feeling like you're the ultimate parent and I give everything to my kids and
Yeah,
so forth and so on. Put that to the side and just look at your kids' needs and ask yourself, do I meet their needs the way they need
yeah.
them met? And if the answer is no, then you have two decisions to make.
Well, step over.
Step up and take care of that need, or accept that your co-parent is better at meeting that need than you and support them
Right.
in making that happen. It's really way more simple. Like you said,
Yeah,
people make it way more difficult than it has to be. But that's because here and here
I
don't be right.
yeah, I literally,
You know what I'm
I
saying? It don't be right. And their priorities, it comes down to their priorities not being right because you putting yourself
yeah.
in the way of what needs to go on with these kids. And the deadbeat shit, you don't know not to get me started on that.
I mean,
That's whether it's deadbeat mom, deadbeat dad, or whether you're the parent that's false, that's causing the deadbeat situation because
yeah, I
you're
think
not
that the whole
letting
deadbeat
that
thing,
person be a
like,
parent.
it comes in different forms and fashions, right? Um, but
It absolutely does. Because you had some deadbeats
right,
that's in the home with their
like
kids.
again, not to put nobody business out there, I'm just gonna say exactly. And they think they're doing more than what they're really doing, right? And it's
Yeah,
because no one has called them to the
absolutely.
carpet on the bullshit. And it's
Or nobody that they're willing to accept the truth from. Because sometimes we think people act like that because nobody checked them, but
exactly,
sometimes it's because who checked
exactly.
them, they
Which
don't
is
want to
why I
acknowledge.
stopped saying anything about a lot of things because it's like because it's coming from me, it's like, what do you know? Who are you? Who like I don't gotta listen to you. Oh, okay. But I know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm witnessing. I know what I'm talking to said kid about. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely had a conversation with
Right.
someone about their co-parent situation, right? And they were saying that I guess the daughter is always put up to calling and asking for him to do certain things or buy certain things. And he's like, no, ask your
Mm.
mother. She get money from me. And I literally kind of was like, so I said, so let me ask you a question. Just because you pay child support, you think that's sufficient? Yeah. I said, how much do you pay a month? $900. And I was like, $900. I said, when your kid is in a whole bunch of activities, then he was like, I mean, I pay for other stuff, but you're putting her up to calling me to ask me to get her hair done. I'm not paying $45 for her to get two French braids. I was
Okay, so let me jump in right quick because one, we need those of us
right because
paying
we
child
ain't paying
support,
child support.
those of y'all paying child support, excuse me. My bad, y'all.
Mm,
I don't mean to step in y'all shoes. I ain't wearing them. But those paying child
at
support
all,
need to understand that child support is not enough.
at all.
And it's not about how much you're paying. It's because what you're paying is supposed to be coming from what you're earning. So while somebody might say that this is pittance,
Hmm.
it's what you're supposed to be able to give. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to knock how much somebody joint or how low
Right,
somebody
right.
joint is because it's supposed to be what's coming from their account. What they earning. So if you ain't earning that much, you ain't paying that much. But even if you are earning a lot and paying a lot, I don't care if you paying whatever Dr. Dre is, whatever
Yeah.
KG would pay. You know what I'm saying? Or who else? It doesn't matter if you're not doing other
So
things. You still have to parent. So
I
pay
will
your
say
child
they do
support
parent. They
and
do
parent.
spend time and whatnot, but it's like the point for that is I'm not giving my baby mama nothing extra. And my thought process was, mm,
I can kind of understand that. There's a way
and
around
it's
it though.
like,
There's a way around it. So just have the adult conversation, right? If you don't want to give your baby mom, or for the women, your baby dad more money, right? Let's just say you don't trust the way they spend it.
right.
Unfortunate, but fine. Pay who it goes to. Hey, send me the slip, send me the link,
So that's it.
send me whatever that is, and I
Yeah.
will pay that party directly. So it's not about giving her or him more money that you don't trust them to spend properly. Okay, so all right, cool. I'm not giving you that
Yeah.
money. Send me the bill.
That was my
I'll
thing.
pay it.
That was my thing.
That way, it's no question. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Send me the
That was my
thing for the
stance.
kids' uniforms.
But
You know what I'm
right.
saying? And also, the other thing about, because I have to mention this because I've seen it too much. The
Yeah,
whole putting up the
I don't
kid to
like
go
that. I
ask.
don't like that.
I don't like it. I don't like it. You don't realize
Yeah,
you're
because
teaching your
legit, they
kid the
was like,
wrong thing. You understand that you're making your kid into a hustler, you're making your kid
yeah,
into a beggar, you're making your kid into a con artist. Because after a while, the kid will figure this out
yo,
on their
I
own.
was, I
And they will
feel you.
start to
I've been
take
a part of it.
advantage of both
I've
of
been a
y'all.
part of it, and I literally told said person, I said, bruh, like it's not that serious. Like to the point where your daughter say, "Why you don't ever want to help mommy with nothing extra?" Right? They're not old enough to
Like,
even
come on,
have to
man,
be
you putting your
cooking and do all
kids,
that. Yeah.
they kids. Exactly.
Exactly.
You
And I don't
taking
want that.
kids outside of a kid place. Stop puppeteering your kids. Take your hands off the strings. Take your hand out their back. They're not
Literally.
your marionette.
That's your
They're
little
not your sock
ventriloquist.
puppet. You know what I'm saying? Be an adult and have a conversation
Yeah.
with that parent. Even if y'all don't get along well,
But
just
yo,
keep it business. Listen, I know it's F you and it's F me, but listen, your kid is in
that's
this.
easier
Here
said than
goes the
done because
thing.
I
I never had to see the
I've
money and
seen
never
some
have to
women
touch
it's
my
like
hands.
they so bitter and I don't even know what other word I want to use at this point. It's probably not gonna be nice, but it's like you so mad the relationship didn't work out. Like you are hell bent on making this person life hell. And this is why I tell people,
Yep.
yeah, you,
And
you
you
gotta be
using that
careful
kid
about
to
what you
make
wish
them
for
feel
kids.
bad.
Like this shit sound good in the beginning, but you don't see nobody true colors until you really have a kid with them. To be honest, and it's like going back to the top of the hour, like this co-parenting thing.
I won't. You know what? I'm gonna make a slight addendum to that because the fact is, you don't
Okay,
know who you are until you have a
okay,
kid.
okay.
You might think so.
I'll accept that
You might
addendum.
think so,
It does. It does.
but having a kid changes you because sometimes this parent or this person that you're with in a relationship, it's not that that's not who they are. It's a different ball
And
game. The
listen,
stakes is different.
this is what I
Life
was discussing
changes,
with my sister. I feel like so
and some
that's just
people
how
ain't
I
really
look
cut
at
for
it.
the pressure like they
Like
think
this
they
is how
are.
you end up co-parenting with a motherfucker because they think they want something so bad when they get it, they realize this shit ain't what it's all cracked up to be. They don't want it, they can't handle it. It's a life altering situation. Shit done change. Like it ain't gonna be the same, and they can't handle it. They can't handle it, and I just have never wanted to put myself in that situation because it's
Flat out.
like I literally have been. My best friend says this about me all the time. You don't have kids and you're not pressed to have kids because you've pretty much been parenting all your life. You damn fucking straight. Like I know how difficult it
Mm.
is to manage other little human beings. Like my sister, my brothers and I are 3 years apart. Like that was like
Right.
tough because we're all growing up together, but I'm the oldest. So it's like and people used to think that
You
I
got to
was
be
just being a
responsible
little
for it.
snot. Because I was like, when I get older, I'm never getting married, I'm never having kids. Yeah, no. I'm never getting married and I'm never having kids. Exactly. Like hopped off the
Because you got
porch
put in the field too early.
early, baby. And it was just like the shit that I also saw between folks close to me having to co-parent. And then, like, no offense, I love my parents. They weren't, super parents, but they weren't horrible either. They were doing the best they could at that time because back then therapy wasn't a thing. People got their problems and the shit you go through when you're growing up, that shit sticks
Right.
with you as a trauma. And it was just like, man, this is what marriage look like. I definitely
Hmm.
ain't trying to be no black baby mama. And then you would see how like females was getting treated by their baby fathers, like where I grew up. And it was like, yeah, no. If you wasn't dating a hustler, you wasn't getting treated all that well as a baby mother.
Man, I feel you though in terms of that affecting it because I became team
Don't make her a
don't make
mom if
her
you
a
wouldn't make her a
mom if you
wife.
wouldn't
I
make her
like
a
it. I
wife.
like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah, like I became that because I saw a lot of my friends struggle, like decent dudes, like dudes who actually was like, even if they didn't want the kid, even if they told her to have an abortion and she said no, the minute she
Yeah.
commits to having the
And see,
kid, they're like, okay,
that's
I'm a
another
dad.
thing.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're gonna have the
Yeah.
kid,
Me did
fine,
that.
I'm a dad. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
didn't really want to be, but I am now. Cool. So what do I gotta do? You know what I'm saying? It's their first time out because unlike most girls, unlike a lot of girls, most dudes don't get that experience unless you had to really look after a bunch of younger siblings or multiple younger siblings. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're a girl. A lot of
Yeah.
girls get placed in them situations. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get placed in maternal
And it's
situations
rough.
way
It's
before y'all
rough.
actually supposed to be. A
Yeah,
lot
it's
of
rough.
girls are trained that way, especially the oldest girl. But for dudes, a lot of times that's not the case. So you know how to
Yeah.
be a protector and you know how to be an overseer, but it's not so much like
Right.
crash course at parenting. You know what I'm saying? For dudes, it's typically not the case. You don't have to learn how to do a
Which,
diaper and
which
what
I
to do
think
when
is
it's a
kind of
diaper rash
crazy.
or what to
Like,
do
I
when they
feel
have
like we
colic.
should learn that
You
kind
know
of
what
stuff
I'm
anyways.
saying?
This goes to a whole nother topic. Life skills. Yeah. Life skills,
Which,
baby. I
right?
mean, because
That's
my thing is, I'm sure you got siblings that's probably going to have kids at some point. But yeah, a whole nother topic. But yeah, a lot of men are not built for that at all. Like,
right.
I,
But so
yeah.
no, we're not prepared in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form because we don't get the hands-on experience. You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, and it is not spoken enough. We're not even
Yeah.
trusted to do well
You
with
know
it
what?
at young
Yeah,
ages.
no.
We're
Yeah,
not even
y'all not.
trusted in a lot of cases. You're not gonna, if you had the choice between putting that crying baby in the daughter's hands or in the son's hands, even if the
Yeah,
son
and
is
I think
older,
that has a
that
lot to
baby's
do with
going in
that
the daughter's
emotional
hands.
intelligence that we spoke about earlier as well.
It's a lot of
Like,
generalizations and the stereotypes and the preconceived notions, right? But again, another podcast, another conversation. Um, but I say all this to say is that when I saw, like, even in high school, when I saw these dudes saying they was ready to step up to the plate, and then I seen the opportunity snatched away from them at 18, 19, it's like it's setting up a bad precedent. So
yeah,
yeah, these dudes start feeling a type of way later on. So like I said, like you said, it scared you off of that. It scared me off of that. Like I heavy condom boy.
for sure, I
Oh
do.
no, you
Yeah,
don't need the condom. Yes, I do.
that's
Yes, I
different
do.
view.
I'm on the pill. Great. Rip.
Listen, what I say, that's nice.
It feels
I wouldn't
better
want
without
nobody to
it.
find
I
out.
bet it
Like, niggas
does.
used to hate
I
me.
bet it
Listen, I ain't
does.
built. I used to tell niggas, I'm not built to be nobody baby mama.
Likewise, I'm
Listen,
not.
that's
I'm
not
not
what my
finna
life
risk
was
it.
made out of. Live.
I'm not finna risk it. If I'm not in love with you and thinking that you're gonna
Yeah,
be my forever
yeah,
person, I'm not putting seed in
yeah.
you.
It's
I'm sorry. It's
crazy.
just not finna go down. You know what I'm saying? Hence, the woman I have kids with is the woman that I'm married. The
Exactly.
woman I'm married is the woman I have kids with. Now, granted, people
Yeah,
get divorced and stuff like that, and that's a totally different story. But you know what I'm saying? At least my intention is, you know what I'm saying? Because it really is hard to
it is.
co-parent through broken relationships. I have to shout out my man, AB, the author of this, the Sexual Miseducation of
Go
Black
get it,
Men in
dog.
America. This book right here, still selling it. Go ahead and get it. My man AB Bracewell. He talks about the things that all the time. He talks about the steps that he had to take for it to
Yeah.
be a clean and healthy environment for them to co-parent together. And you know what I'm saying? I've seen, his son's mom show up to some of these events, and I see his son
That's
how he
important. It is a
behaves and
lot. It
stuff like
changes.
that, and
Listen,
it's like
it's a big dynamic difference.
that's awesome. it
Yeah,
it's literally proof that it could be done. It's literally proof that it can be done. And there's so many people who get it done, but there's
do.
so many
Yeah,
people who just be in their own way. So we gonna get ready to wrap this up because truth be told, though we both have our feelings about
yeah.
it,
Listen,
you ain't co-parenting. you
no,
ain't you ain't co-parenting outside of. You ain't co-parenting. I ain't co-parenting outside of my situation.
It is.
So it's a
It
totally
is.
different level and a totally different conversation. Me and my
Yeah.
wife not just together for the kids. So totally different situation. And we prefer to, if we're gonna have the conversation go as long as, sometimes an hour or whatever, that it be
Yeah.
more
And we
actual, facts and experience. So we're gonna come back to
and
y'all
we
once we get
know
some people to
people. We
actually
know
go
people.
ahead and give us this conversation, because we know people and we will be back with this conversation. A lot of times y'all hear us talk about something, oh, that could be another episode. This will be another episode.
Yeah.
Don't know when
I
yet,
just
but
want
we
to talk
working on
about
it
it because
ASAP.
it's
All
been
right.
a reoccurring theme of conversation here lately for me, and it's just funny that that popped up in my memory. So, I just it just something is intriguing for me because even so many years ago, I felt the way I felt, and I still feel how I feel. Nothing has changed. Yeah, and still,
What you
like it
say,
ain't
and
gonna
still,
change, and I just don't understand. I guess I want to have the conversation of what can be done to change this dynamic because for me, anybody that knows me knows any child that is an extension of me means the world to me. And if something is not working in their favor or best
hmm
interest, I have an issue with it. And I mean that might mean I have an issue with you adults because y'all gotta solve that problem. You know what I'm saying? Y'all
it's a
are
real
part of
thing now.
that
Speak
problem.
on it.
And the kids pay attention. They don't miss shit. Like they are in tune with a lot of shit that y'all got going on between y'all. And it's very effective in a negative way. It affects them tremendously, gravely, even. Like the shit that I see
Gravely,
transpiring
perfect word.
because these kids are privy to poor co-parenting is crazy. It's crazy. And that's why I try to do as much as I can in the way of standing in the gap for shit like that. Because some people, like you said, they can't even get out of their own way. They can't see past themselves. Their emotional intelligence is fucked. And they really fucking these kids up. Like, so we need to start having a healthy conversation about how we can change the dynamic before generations to come are just damned because people taking everything personally. Like I literally just told her earlier, why are you taking something you know is true personally? If you don't like it, change it. Don't take nothing personal. It's the hardest thing
It's
for
the
people
hardest
to
thing
do.
for
And it's
people to
like
do.
the way I operate, like back then I didn't accept a lot of constructive criticism. But going forward, I see how yielding to that has made me a better person. And if people would just
And that's it right there. That's it right there. If people could focus and make their goal self-improvement, you would
yeah,
be able to take these criticisms, these hard
yeah,
truths, not harsh, but hard
yeah,
truths. You'd be able to take them and work
and
with them if that was your focus.
exactly.
But not everybody's focused on
And you're
self-improvement.
not.
Some people
And
think they
all
good
you
where
got to
they at.
do is look at your children, your child, the children in your life, and it will tell you everything you need to know about you not being where you need to be. And the
Oh no, we rapping on that. Don't say nothing else. That was the bar.
breathing.
That was the bar. That was the bar. That is it.
Yeah.
That was
So
perfect. That was perfect. That was perfect. On behalf of
we
A.C.E, our brother, that's who we always be. On behalf of the owner of Simply in the Shade Catering and the co-owner of Second Line Express, Quiche with the Cake. On behalf of Mimi the Goddess, aka Big Mish. And on behalf of your favorite coach's favorite coach, as I always say, be respectful, be smart, be disciplined,
mhm,
be patient, and that includes with yourself. Be kind to as many people as you possibly can. I know some people are gonna make it impossible, and that's fine. Fuck 'em.
with a big state.
But every single day, take the time out
But
to be
yourself.
kind to yourselves. We appreciate you. Like, share, subscribe, follow, all of the things. All right, we out here. We love y'all. Be safe and stay dangerous, y'all. Till we see y'all next time. All
Yeah.
right, we up out of here.